Once there was a young boy named Leo. He lived in a small and quiet village. The village was near a big blue lake. Leo was a very kind boy. He had a big dream. He wanted to be a famous painter. He loved colors. He loved the red color of apples. He loved the yellow color of the sun. But Leo had a problem. He was very poor. He did not have money to buy paints. He did not have money to buy paper or brushes. Leo often sat by the lake. He looked at the water. He used a stick to draw in the sand. He drew birds and trees in the sand. But the water always washed his drawings away. Leo felt sad. He wanted to make a picture that stayed forever. One day a man came to the village. The man was from the king's castle. The man stood in the middle of the village square. He had a loud voice. He said, "Listen, listen! The king is looking for the best painter in the land. The king wants a new painting for his big hall. The best painter will win a heavy bag of gold." Everyone in the village was excited. The rich artists ran to the shops. They bought the best paints. They bought bright red, deep blue, and shiny gold paints. They bought soft brushes and big white canvases. Leo watched them. He looked at his empty hands. He had nothing. He walked slowly to his small house. He sat on his bed and thought, "How can I paint without paint?" he asked himself. He felt tears in his eyes. He decided to go for a walk in the forest. The forest was cool and dark. Leo walked for a long time. He saw a small bird. The bird was blue. He saw a frog. The frog was green. "Nature has so many colors," Leo said. Suddenly he saw an old woman. She was sitting on a stone. She looked tired and thirsty. Leo was a kind boy. He had a bottle of water. He gave his water to the old woman. The woman drank the water. She smiled at Leo. Her eyes were bright. "Thank you, young boy," she said. "You have a kind heart. Why are you sad?" Leo told her about the king's contest. He told her he had no money for paint. The old woman nodded. She reached into her bag. She pulled out a wooden box. She gave the box to Leo. "Open it," she said. Leo opened the box. It was empty. There was only a clean, dry brush inside. "I do not understand," said Leo. "There is no paint." The woman smiled again. "This is a magic brush," she said. "It paints with your feelings. It paints with the truth. But remember, the painting will be invisible to people with cold hearts. Only people with warm hearts can see it." Leo looked at the brush. He looked up to thank the woman, but she was gone. She disappeared like the wind. Leo ran home. He found an old white cloth. He hung it on the wall. He took the magic brush. He did not dip it in paint. He closed his eyes. He thought about the warm sun. He moved the brush on the cloth. He felt happy. He thought about the wind. He moved the brush again. He worked for 3 days. He did not sleep. He painted his love for the world. He painted the sound of the river. He painted the smell of the flowers. But the cloth looked white. It looked empty. Leo was scared. "Is it working?" he thought. "Or am I just moving a dry brush?" But he trusted the old woman. He finished the painting. The day of the contest came. Leo rolled up his white cloth. He walked to the king's castle. The castle was very big. It had tall towers. Many people were there. There were many artists. They had big paintings covered with sheets. The king sat on a big chair. He wore a gold crown. He looked very serious. The contest began. The first artist came up. The first artist showed his painting. It was a picture of the king. The king looked strong and young in the picture. The paint was gold and red. The people clapped. "Very good," said the king. "Next." The second artist came up. He showed his painting. It was a picture of a battle. There were horses and soldiers. It was very detailed. "Good work," said the king. The third artist showed a painting of a beautiful garden. The flowers looked real. The king smiled. "This is very nice," he said. Many artists showed their work. All the paintings were beautiful. They had many colors. Finally, it was Leo's turn. Leo walked to the front. His clothes were old. His shoes were dirty. The people laughed at him. "Go home!" they shouted. "What can a poor boy paint?" a man asked. The king raised his hand. "Silence!" the king said. "Let the boy show his work." Leo stood before the king. His hands shook. He was nervous. He unrolled his white cloth. He hung it up for everyone to see. The room was quiet. The people stared. The cloth was white. It was empty. There was no paint on it. The king looked at the cloth. He looked at Leo. The king's face turned red. He was angry. "Is this a joke?" the king shouted. "There is nothing there. It is just a blank white cloth." The guards stepped forward. They wanted to grab Leo. "Wait!" Leo cried. "Please, your majesty, look closely. It is not empty. It is a painting of the most important things." "What things?" asked the king. "I see nothing." Leo took a deep breath. "It is a painting of the wind that cools your face in summer," Leo said. "It is a painting of the bird's song in the morning. It is a painting of the love a mother has for her child. These things are invisible, but they are real. The old woman told me only people with warm hearts can see it." The king stopped. He looked at the white cloth again. The room was very silent. The king thought about the wind. He remembered the cool breeze in his garden. He thought about his mother. He remembered her love. Slowly, the king's face changed. He did not look angry anymore. He looked soft. He looked peaceful. He stared at the white cloth for a long time. I think I see it," the king whispered. "I feel the wind. I feel the peace." The people in the room looked too. They stopped laughing. They tried to use their hearts, not just their eyes. A little girl in the front pointed. "I see it," she said. "I see a happy feeling." An old man smiled. "I see the memory of my old home," he said softly. The king stood up. He walked to Leo. He put his hand on Leo's shoulder. "You are right," the king said. "My eyes see an empty cloth, but my heart sees a beautiful world. The other painters painted things I can own. You painted things I can feel. You reminded me that invisible things are important." The rich painters looked at their colorful pictures. They suddenly looked flat. They looked just like paint on canvas. But Leo's white cloth seemed full of magic. It made everyone think of happy things. The king turned to the crowd. "We have a winner," he announced. "Leo is the best painter." The people cheered. They clapped loudly. Leo smiled. He was not poor anymore. The king gave him the gold. But Leo did not keep all the gold. He used the gold to buy paints and paper for all the children in the village. He opened a school. He taught the children how to paint. But he taught them a big lesson first. He taught them to close their eyes. He taught them to feel the world before they painted it. He kept the magic brush in a special glass box. He never used the magic brush again. He learned that he did not need magic. He could paint with real colors too. But he always remembered the lesson. The best pictures come from the heart. The white cloth hung in the king's hall for many years. Visitors came from far away to see it. Some people saw nothing. They called it the empty cloth. But many people stood in front of it and smiled. They saw their own dreams. They saw their own memories. They saw the invisible beauty of the world. And so, the boy who had no money and no paint became the most famous artist of all. He showed the world that you do not always need eyes to see. You just need a good heart and a little bit of imagination. Leo lived a long and happy life. He painted many real pictures. He painted the lake. He painted the village. But his favorite painting was always the one that no one could see. It was the painting that started everything. It was the painting of the wind, the love, and the truth. It was the invisible painting. And to this day, people in the village tell his story. They tell their children about the boy who painted with his heart. They tell them to look for the magic in the air. When the wind blows through the trees, the children say, "Look, Leo is painting again." And they smile because they know that the most beautiful things in life are free. They are all around us, waiting for us to see them with our hearts.